All right. Welcome to the Create Your New Life Real Estate Training. I forgot something big. There we go. Didn't have my music going. All right. So, once again, Create Your New Life Real Estate Training powered by Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm every week, Thursdays, 11:30, what we shoot for. So we're here on Thursday, NFL Draft Night Thursday, for those that follow the NFL. But we're here, man. I'm excited to be back. Was out for a couple of weeks on vacation and surgery and all that stuff. But back in effect, ready to go, excited about what we're going to talk about today, some of the things that we have in place today. And, the topic that we're in right now, working with tenants, how to be successful with working with tenants. So let's jump right into it. So, one of the things that I typically do lately is that I've been adding a quote at the end of, I've always added quotes, but now I'm kind of putting a little teaser of where I'm getting it from. So today I put, don't wait for opportunity created. Man, when I saw that quote, I thought it was just like bananas. I'm like, man, that is what I'm talking about. Not sitting back, waiting for something to happen for you, waiting for a door to open, waiting for an opportunity to present itself. That's not what it's about. That's not what we're about at Brooks and Davis. We're about creating what the need is. So if I need money, then I'm going to create something that's going to give me money. If I need more free time, then I'm going to create something that's going to give me more free time. If I want to spend more time with my family, whatever I want, I'm going to create it. I'm not going to wait for somebody to give it to me or supply it for me. It's up to me. So I just love that quote. Actually, I got it from a book. It's the title of a book. And that book is this book. I'm always advocating you all reading. So it's Don't Wait for Opportunity, Create It. That's the name of the book by S. Baker. And it's the breakthrough you need to turn your dream into a reality. All about being proactive, all about being intentional, about you creating the type of life that you want, which goes right into what we call our sessions, right? Creating your new life sessions, because it's all in your hands. It's all about you and what you're going to do with it. So that's what that is. Now, I named it the You Can Find Success in Working with Tenants today because, again, we're going through that process of how to successfully work with tenants to where you're making the most amount of money without using a bunch of time and a bunch of energy having to do it. Not to say that you're not going to spend time, not to say that you're not going to spend energy doing it, but it's about how you're doing it and being most effective in working with the tenants and helping them out. So that's why I called it that today. Now, again, want to thank those that are not a part of Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. Today is going to be a very exciting Create Your New Life session because we're going to talk about, as we dwell into, I really want to help my agents maximize the Realtor Recruitment Rally as we're looking to double our agent count before the end of the year. What are some of the things that you need to be saying to prospective agents concerning Brooks? Hold on. There we go. All right. So what are some of the things that you need to be saying to prospective agents to encourage them to sit down with Mr. Brooks, to get on board with what we're doing, what sets us apart from the other brokerage firms out here? So I'm going to spend some time going through that, talking about that, which is really going to give you all the firepower to, if you say this stuff to anybody that's in real estate that's not as successful as they want to be or that they can be, we're the solution for them, and they'll come running, begging to join our firm and become a part of us. It's just about how you frame it and frame what we have to offer to people that are a part. And again, if you're taking a look at the Create Your New Life session and you haven't joined Brooks and Davis, What it does is it gives you an opportunity today to get a real keen view of what we have to offer here as an organization, as we're ultimately developing agents and helping people make more money, which is at the end of the day what it's all about. So we had well, what we're going to do is we're going to start off like we always. We're going to start out talking about what type of production that we had over the week, some of the new agents, some of the new production and things like that. So we did have some new production. LaQuana as well as Don Green added some production to the board. So we definitely want to congratulate them as they're putting items on the board, positioning themselves to make some money, right? You know, that's one of the first steps into ensuring that you got a check coming down the road to help pay some of them bills. So congratulations definitely to LaQuana and Don. We actually have a couple of new agents and we definitely want to welcome them. So we have Mr. Mr. Garland Harris Jr. So we definitely want to welcome him, as well as Miss Sherry Hawkins. So we definitely want to welcome her to the Brooks and Davis family. Make sure I said her name right. So I know it's definitely Richard Garland Harris. I don't know why I keep saying Richard. Garland Harris and Cherry Meekins. That's what it is. Okay. So definitely want to welcome Cherry Meekins and Garland Harris Jr. to the Brooks and Davis family, to the Brooks and Davis team. Look forward to taking over this real estate industry together, and you know, get you guys in here, do the orientation so we can get you plugged in and tapped in as soon as possible. So we definitely want to welcome them to the team. So as far as our production, go ahead and share my screen. All right, so as far as our production, so we're right at about $4.1 million worth of production as of today. So, you know, which is, you know, we're up where we were the last time we spoke. So the good thing is that we're moving in the right direction. You know, we had, you know, that first quarter was just bananas for us. So, you know, we're not going to get down on ourselves because we're not where we were, you know, a month or two ago. Because I mean, we were just really killing it. It was literally the best quarter that Brooks and Davis had ever had in its 9 years of or 8 years of being in existence. So, but you know, being at, you know, above the 4 million mark, typically the 4 million mark is where I like to be because I feel like that's a healthy number. So anything above the 4 million mark, us maintaining that volume on our production board per week, you know, I feel pretty good about it. So I definitely want you all to continue to get out there and keep pushing. As far as our top five, oh, that's not right. All right, so I didn't change my slide. So we've had some major movement in our top slot, in our top five. So as I fix this problem that I didn't fix, y'all just gonna have to look at my crazy mug. It's just you know, I'm shaking off the dust because it's been a couple of weeks since I've been here, but we're gonna get it right. We gonna get it right. Let's see. I want it to be a surprise on who the new top five is. But we did have a lot. Again, we did have a lot of major movement in the top five producing agents. And for those that don't understand how this works, I know there are companies out there that acknowledge, you know, the top agents based on the amount of production that they've closed, and that's just not how I measure it. Because in my opinion, if you've closed on it, like, it's not about what you've closed on. I always want you to be focused on what are you doing, what have you done lately, like what production have you put into the pipeline lately. So we measure our top five producing agents based on how many contracts that they have in the pipeline, how many contracts are on our production board, because that's literally who's the top agent that's producing, what are they producing. So that's how we measure, and that's how we give our accolades based on that. So we've had again a major jump. So now our top producing agent is Miss LaQuana Davis. She came all the way from number 4 and jumped everybody because she had some production to really hit that board. As well as Don Green, he went from number 3 to number 2. And there's a close battle in between the number 2 and the number 3 agent. But right now we got Don Green, Kim Washington, and then Mashana Green, and we ended out with Margaret Harrison. As I tell you guys every week, a lot of times you going from not being on the top 5, or like, you know, in the instance of Laquana going from number 4 to number 1, a lot of times can be just based on you just adding a, you know, one contract or maybe 2 contracts to the board, depending on the price. So everybody, you know, it may even go from, you know, from you being not on the top 5 to being, you know, 1 or 2 or 3 on the top 5. A lot of times can go just from, again, you just adding, you know, one deal. So I want everybody to understand that you all have the capabilities and the access to be one of the top 5 producing agents for Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. So it's just a matter of, you know, you moving forward in that vein. All right, which takes us right into our 60-day cycle, and we're coming towards the end of it. We have 7 more days in this 60-day cycle, right? And remember, our goal is that we wanted to add $4.1 million worth of new production to the board over 60 days. We've been doing this 60-day cycle here now for maybe the last six to 8 months, and we've never reached our goal of $4.1 million. But we're so close. We're so close this time, right? We're only $700,586 away from reaching our goal of $4.1 million worth of new production into our pipeline, into our production board. And I know y'all can do it. I just need it by May 4th, next Thursday. I need $700,586 of new production over the next 7 days. If you guys do that for us, we will have reached our goal for the first time in this 60-day cycle, right? And again, our mantra for these 60 days is why not you, right? Why, you know, we've gotten up to 3.3 million, you know, why not you be the one to add what we need in the 700,000 to get us to our goal, right? Why not you be the one? Hey, do it. Hey, just give me one contract for $800,000. You personally, by yourself, take us over the top. Why not you? You have the capabilities. You are able to do it. You know, why not you? If somebody else can do it, why not you? So, you know, take part over these next 7 days. Let's finish strong. You know, we're at the finish line. Keep pushing, keep pressing, the fingers pointing at you, because all of you all can take part in us reaching our goal here over the next 7 days of $4.1 million in our 60-day cycle. You can do it. I believe in you. Believe your broker, Davis, Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, believes in you, that you can get us the goal for the first time, that you can be a part of the magic of us reaching that goal and you having some stuff on that board. So go ahead and knock it out for me. I know you can do it. All right, so look, we got a lot of events coming up, right? So we're getting real busy, and it kind of makes sense. You know, we're in the second quarter of the year. And, you know, we built momentum. We was able to build a lot of momentum from the first quarter. So we're going to ride that momentum. We're going to grow on, you know, build upon that momentum to really continue to take us into the second quarter. So, you know, we have a lunch and learn on Monday. This Monday coming up, Above Grade Inspections is going to be the presenter. And he's going to be coming in. He's going to be demonstrating some of his resources. You know, some of the drones. He has a drone, so he's going to be showing us, kind of demonstrating that, some of the cameras that he uses, as well as we'll have food and some giveaways. He said he's going to have some giveaways for us on Monday. So, you know, definitely, if you're available, I highly encourage you to go ahead and come up to the corporate office for 12 o'clock. We need you to RSVP so we can give him a head count. So I want you to call the office or email the info at Brooks and Davis email address, so April can get your head count for this Monday. Above Grade Inspections is going to be doing a lunch and learn for us. So now again, I highly encourage you all to take advantage of these lunch and learns, because you never know when you're going to need to pull the information from, you know, out of your toolbox for a particular transaction that you have. It definitely puts you in a position, number one, to build relationships, but also to give you information that can set you apart from other individuals that are in this business. Remember, there are 35,000 plus licensed individuals in our Metroplex. What makes you different from somebody else? And a lot of times it has to do with you knowing something that these other agents don't know. So that's why we constantly focus on making sure that we're putting you all in front of the right people, the best information that you can use and utilize to win as you're going up against these other individuals. So, you know, and you get lunch. So, you know, lunch on us. So it's a great opportunity just to kind of, you know, get your day started off right from the office, get you some information, get you some food, stay connected as we continue to push forward and be successful out here. So that's on Monday. So hold on. Okay. So we also have today. Okay, so today is actually a really good day. And you know, there's some major networking events that are going on. And if you all aren't, especially now, again, it's April, right? You know, we're 4 months into this year. We're 4 months into this year, and we're going into the hot season. You know, we're going into the hot season with summertime and school getting out. So you really need to be out. You need to be out and about. You need to be networking. You need to be going to mixers because everybody's, you know, positioning themselves to be in a position to where they can capitalize again on momentum. Like you hear me talk a lot about momentum because it's serious. So today, there are a couple of networking events that are taking place. So we have the Houston Black Real Estate Association is having a networking mixer at Patterson Custom Flooring. You guys should know how I feel about that organization. You know, myself, Mr. Brooks, been highly active in the organization. So, you know, there'll be an opportunity for you to meet other, you know, real estate professionals, you know, in a relaxed environment, as well as an opportunity for you to meet some of the different partners that are part of our business. So now, I know you guys are asking, you know, how does that help my bottom line? You know, how does that impact me making money in real estate if I'm in the room, in the same room with a bunch of other people that sell the same thing that I sell, right? How does that help me make money? How do I make money with that? And the interesting thing about it is that I used to feel the same way you feel. When I first got into real estate, to me, it just didn't make sense for me to get in organizations with other realtors or to go to events or mixers with other realtors. That just didn't make sense to me because we was all selling the same product. Well, what I found, you know, now 12 years being in real estate, is that it's not about the direct competition. It's about building the relationship so you can gain access to not only resources that they have access to, gain access to knowledge that they have access to. See, there's a lot of people that's in your profession that has access to information that they don't know what to do with. They don't know what to do with the information, right? And so a lot of times, if you're in the right place at the right time and you're in the right conversation or in the right event and you get this information that's presented, a lot of times people are handing off this information is golden, but they just don't know what to do with it or how to maximize or leverage it. So that's where I found the value in networking with other individuals that are in our profession, that are in our business. You know, a lot of times there's news coming down the pipeline, especially from these major lenders, like the sponsors that are here with Compass, Wells Fargo, Prime Lending. You know, a lot of time there is major initiatives that are taking place from a national or even an international level with these organizations that you don't get the information. The only way that you get the information is by being in the room with these networking events. So, you know, I highly encourage you to go ahead and get involved, especially now. Get out. They're not costing you anything. You know, it's a lot of time. I know, especially at HBREA, you know, they're going to have alcohol, they're going to have food. So, you know, it's a way for you to get out, get amongst your colleagues and people that are in the business, and stay connected in what's going on and be involved with how this information is being spread all over the place so you can capitalize on it. Okay, so now also today, one of our partners, Blackstone Mortgage, is having a happy hour. Now theirs starts at 5 o'clock. Patterson Custom Flooring, I mean the HBREA one, starts at 6 o'clock. So it's a way for you to kind of make some appearances at multiple events. Again, it keeps your juices going, right? It keeps you connected in the industry because this is what you do. You know, Blackstone Mortgage, Goosehead, you know, these are partners, Brooks and Davis partners. These are people that we've done business with before. These are people that have sponsored events for us. So these are people that we've worked with. So they're hosting a happy hour, and a lot of time, like, I don't know if they're going to be covering drink. I don't know if they're going to be covering food. I don't know, but they may. But again, it's a good opportunity. You know, I've never been to the Rosemont, so, you know, it's a good way to see a new location. Maybe somewhere that you've never been, maybe in a location that you can take a client to give you a good representation and a good look in their eyes. So, you know, it's a way to expose you to what all is going on, what all is out there. So I'm really encouraging you to keep the activity going. These are opportunities, you know, even especially for my part-time agents. I know by 5 o'clock you guys are off of work. So this is definitely a way for you to stay connected in real estate by attending these mixers, attending these happy hours, you know, meeting these individuals, letting them know, reminding them that, you know, you're a real estate, you're a realtor, you know, this is what you do, this is your career, and a way to really stay connected into the industry and the market. Okay, so those are some great events for you all to attend today. I highly encourage you to go to and attend these events because, you know, it's a good time to stay active and keep the blood and the momentum going. And those are some great opportunities to do it. Again, it doesn't cost you anything. Okay, so the next thing that we have going on is our booth on this Saturday. So it's Operation Red Day. And that is in a couple of days. It's going to be at Good Hope Missionary Church. So I have my sign up genius. If you're interested, if you haven't already, the spots filled up really, really quickly. So, but there are some available spots for people to work the booth on Saturday. You need to go to the website that I have here on the spreadsheet. And I also sent it into the group, in the group me, and sent it as an email. So you have multiple places to where you can click on the link and go ahead and make it real easy for you to sign up for your booth. I mean, to work the booth. Again, you know, I've sent this teaser out here, but it's real talk. Like, this isn't something that I'm making up. I didn't pull it out of the sky. We just had one of these in October. It was the same organization, Houston Black Real Estate Association, and we had a client. We had an agent that just closed on a $420,000 home purchase from working that booth, right? So, you know, this isn't stuff that we're just blowing smoke up you saying, hey, work the booth, you have a way to generate leads. No, people are making money by spending 1 hour, 2 hours, you know, coming, working these booths, meeting people, and they're putting money in their pocket. So, you know, you have to listen, if you want to win the game, you got to show up. Right. So if you're not showing up, but then you're wondering why you're not making money, you know, it's on you. And then the second step is not only do you show up, you need to know what you need to do to engage. So we've had Create Your New Life sessions that spoke about how to get the best return on investment when working a booth. But at the end of the day, real estate is about people, and it's always going to be about people. Right. So, you know, it's about people wanting to buy houses, people wanting to sell houses. So you got to get out there. You got to meet people. You got to, you know, find out what their need is. You have to diagnose their situation, and that's going to put you in a position to where you can be financially successful. So again, you know, click on the link. If you haven't done so already, reserve your spot so you can work this booth on Saturday and put yourself in a position to be successful, to succeed. Look, I'm not making this stuff up. There are people that listen to what I tell them to do, and there are people that don't listen to what I tell them to do. I guarantee you the people that are listening to what I'm telling them to do are making money. And the people that are not listening to what I'm telling them to do, they're not making money, right? It's just that simple. I'm an engineer, right? 1 + 1 = 2. That's it. At the end of the day, I'm white. I ain't no gray area with me. It's white or black. So, you know, if you do this, you're going to get this. If you don't do this, you don't get this. That's it. It's just that easy. It ain't rocket science. So go to the boot. Go to the link and work the boot. Put yourself in a position to be great. Okay, so look, we were supposed to do our ACC mentor session this Thursday. You know, ACC, they ain't really do the okie doke, but they, instead of having class, the co-op class, which I was going to go in and speak to the students, they decided to encourage the students to attend the HBREA mixer. So the ACC students that, you know, I typically mentor and that we talk to, and where I gave you all the opportunity to attend to meet the mentors and the training sessions, those students will be at the HBREA mixer instead of, or in lieu of them having class today. So, you know, again, if you still want to capitalize on that, because that's a great opportunity you get, you know, especially on what we're going to talk about today. If you go to them and you talk to them about what they would have access to as being a part of Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm, and if you tell them verbatim what I'm going to talk about today is really putting you in a position to where you can maximize the Realtor Recruitment Rally to where you get that 5% override as they start producing. But so if you come to the HBREA mixer, you know, the ones that I recognize, I can absolutely introduce you to them. You know, we can work the room together and still, you know, get these mentors that are going to be, or these mentees that are going to be from ACC that have already been exposed to me and heard me speak. So again, you just got to show up, right? Just let me take the lead. I just need you to be in the room. That's where it is with the ACC. Now, also, now because of the work that I've done with ACC as far as being mentors, and matter of fact, I've been doing mentoring with ACC the longest out of any of the other mentors. So they actually asked me to sit on their real estate school advisory board. So I was actually pretty honored that they would want me to sit on the advisory board for the Houston Community College Real Estate School. So we have our first meeting on tomorrow, my first exposure to that right there. But, you know, it's, again, it puts Brooks & Davis in a position to where, you know, building these real big, strong relationships with, you know, these solid organizations like ACC and Chase and, you know, some of the other ones that we have. It's not just for the benefit of Michael G. Davis or Larry W. Brooks. It's for the benefit of us as an organization, because, again, we're looking for the opportunities where we can plug you all into being able to maximize these relationships that we're building as we're out and you know, doing our thing. Okay, so Realtor Recruitment Rally. I touched upon that a little bit. I don't think I've shown you guys lately the website page. Listen, we have a page on the website that talks about new career. So that's another way for you to really expose to agents the message of working with Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. At the end of the day, it's all about development. We want to take an agent and we want to develop them and transform them. And especially if they're a new agent, we want to transform them from a new agent into a real estate expert. So it's all about development. It's all about taking them from one place to another place. And if you refer them and they come in, and as we're successful in developing them, that means they're making money. They start making money and you start making money. Mailbox money. Money you just land in your bed and you look up and you got extra money coming in that you ain't even have to do no work to get. You just had to drop a name. So this is our website, and it has a lot of stuff in there. It's a lot of stuff that we're going to talk about today. You know, it talks about our purpose, our values, and even, you know, I'm probably going to change some of this stuff now because there was a lot that came out of as I was thinking through how to, you know, what we really offer as a company. You know, our Create Your New Life session, it shows that some of the past events that we've done, our splits. So, you know, it's, you know, you have the tools and the access that you can expose to the individuals as you're speaking to them, or even refreshing yourself on what are the things that I could really say to this individual to get them to come. sit down with Mr. Brooks. And again, in the initial conversation, you're not selling them on joining Brooks and Davis. All you're doing is selling them on having a sit down with your broker owner, have a sit down with them to just talk to them about what we can do for them, right? That's all you're selling to the individual as you're talking to them. Okay. All right. So look, so last time, 2 weeks ago, I was excited about, this phenomenal relationship and opportunity that we were building with Chase, right? And how Chase was going to come in, and how we brought to the table, our financial home ownership first and our pre-home buyer session. We brought our IMB project, how we were bringing these different programs that were, specific to Brooks and Davis real estate firm and actually pretty unique to what else the industry had. And, Chase saw the opportunity in that and now wants a more stronger relationship with our organization. Matter of fact, first of all, I want to thank everybody that submitted their names for the mortgage brokers for me to send to Chase. Those top loan officers, those top mortgage brokers that you've been working with, that Chase wanted to speak to and offer an opportunity, because based on them right now, they're paying more than any other organization when it comes to loan officers. And because of their internal lead network, they have plenty leads, plenty opportunity, their massive customer base for a mortgage professional to be tapped into if they're willing to put in the work. So I want to say thank you for all of those that gave me those names. I actually spoke with my contact over at Chase yesterday evening, and I let her know that I'm going to be sending those names over to them today. And we're going to be following up with a conference call to finalize, where we're going to be as far as those branches, who we're going to be connected with, and what some of the program is going to look like here over the next 90 days as we begin executing that relationship, and we're getting in front of, the massive client base of, Chase Bank. So, we talked about that last week as an opportunity. But, on top of that, we have another opportunity with another bank. So we have Chase, right? So we brought them in, but now we're building something real strong with Bank of America. And again, I talk about, this really falls right out of me saying, get connected with different organizations, different trade associations, because honestly, the connection with Chase came from my volunteer work and participation with the Houston Association of Realtors, right? My connection to Bank of America came from my volunteer work and my association with the Houston Black Real Estate Association. So now Bank of America is looking to offer the same thing, to give access to their massive client base. Because listen, these banks have people that have banked with them for years. Like my mother is an example. She's a bank. She's been a customer of Bank of America ever since, Bank of America bought out Nations Bank long time ago. And my mom was a customer of Nations Bank. So, and from that point, she's been with Bank of America. I got my first bank account with Bank of America when I was 18, and I'm still with Bank of America. So, people are with these banks and loyal to these banks for years, right? My mom not only got her bank account, she got credit cards, Bank of America. She refinanced her house with Bank of America. She got an investment loan. She's done everything with Bank of America. So there are people that are loyal to these brands. Well, because Bank of America or because of a Chase has so many people that are coming into their branches that are not connected to real estate professionals, you gaining access to these individuals is a major win, right? So now I'm actually meeting with, their regional person who looks at the entire region of, I think, Texas, New Mexico, Nevada. I think that's kind of how their region is broke out. I've been talking with him, speaking with him. He actually sent me another email today. I've signed some agreements with them as far as kind of solidifying, not saying that we can only work with Bank of America. I would never do nothing like that, right? But what it is just a memorandum of understanding, what detail and outlining what this relationship is going to look like, right? So now I'm working right now on setting up a follow-up meeting to sit down with, they're pretty much going to partner us up with a branch. Same thing with Chase. Partner us up with some branch, do some programming, inside of it, gain access to their clientele, as well as people are coming in and speaking straight to their loan officers that don't have agents associated with them, then they're looking for companies that they've worked with to send those people to. So again, it's a great opportunity. We have these, the financial home ownership first, the pre-home buyer sessions, because again, there's plenty of people that are loyal to Bank of America, but they got bad credit. The debt to income's not there. So if we can take those people, get them ready, send them back to Bank of America so they can get pre-approved, it's a win-win for everybody. See, that's what this is all about. You got to be bringing something to the table. It can't just be you sitting there with your hand out. You have to be able to be bringing some skin to the game and give people a reason to why they want to do business with you. That's all we did. That's all we was able to show to Chase. That's all we was able to show to Bank of America. And we was able to show to ACC, with our relationship with ACC and some of these other outlets that are helping us grow, right? As they help us grow, we help them grow. We all grow together, right? So it's about not about you just having your hand out. It's about us working together, what they can do for you, what you can do for them, and then we all grow together. So let's see. All right, so as we talked about that, now I really want you all to capitalize on the Realtor Recruitment Rally, right? We're serious about doubling our agent count, right? And we understand that it has to be more than just talk, lip service. Like there has to be something of substance that as an organization we're bringing to hand to you all to go tell somebody else to encourage them to sit down with Larry. Okay. So, we're every day working on making Brooks and Davis better, getting it to a point to where people want to join our firm and they're seeing true value from being associated with us. And when I say true value, I'm not saying, oh, you get a pen or you get a jacket or you get an award or, you get flyers that, they do the flyers for you, real nice, pretty flyers, or you have this state-of-the-art website or the office space is just spectacular. Listen, none of that stuff puts money in your pocket, right? Regardless of what people will say to you, regardless of the bells and the whistles and the shiny stuff. At the end of the day, when I say is Brooks and Davis bringing value to you, are you making money? Are you making more money with Brooks and Davis than you were with your current real estate company? Are you getting put in a position to where at the end of the day, when you do your taxes, your tax bracket is different? See, that's value. And that's the type of value that we are working towards ensuring is happening from our company, right? So I sat down today and I wanted to, talk to you all about, why pick Brooks and Davis over another real estate brokerage? Like, what is that substance? What is that value that I want you all to be telling agents that we offer? And listen, again, I'm not about smoke and mirrors. I'm not about fluff. This is true substance that we have as a company, and anybody can challenge me on it. Anything on this list, you can challenge me and say, well, no, y'all don't do that. We do every single thing that's on this list, and we do it on a consistent basis. It isn't a one and done. This is stuff that we're doing all the time because we were intentional about building the organization a certain way because we wanted, like Stephen Covey says in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, begin with the end in mind. The end was us making sure that we help you make more money. And then that's what helped us design and create our programming and how we operate our organization. So we do all of this stuff, right? So, we kind of broke it down. The first thing is agent development. At the end of the day, the fabric of what we're talking about is agent development, developing you. And we're not talking about training, right? Because everybody talk about training. We're talking about development. And the thing is that some people may say, well, what you are saying is training. Not in my opinion. And since it's my opinion, I can have it. For me, training is we put you in a room, we give you information, then we let you out the room, and we wish you good luck. So that's training to me. Development is I put you in a room, give you information, let you out the room, then I walk with you as you begin implementing information. I hold you accountable to implementing the information. I remind you of implementing the relationship. I put you in a position to where you can use the information, right? That's development. That's growth. That's how you build, right? So agent development is important to us. Well, what are the things that we have in place to assist with agent development? Well, we have our 7-dot training folder, right? That's like the Brooks and Davis Bible, because it has everything that you're going to need to be successful. It has all the resources. It has all the transactional stuff. It has the videos. It has everything. We're constantly putting new and better stuff in that 7-dot training folder, because if you have something going on, whether you have a client that hits, you have a client that needs some, you run into a situation or a challenge that you need assistance with, we want you to be able to go to that 7-dot training folder, start there, and then be able to come and allow us to fill in the gaps, right? So that 7-dot training folder was actually one of the first major pieces when it came to ensuring that we were truly able to develop agents in the direction that we wanted them to. The second thing is the Agent Development Institute. Now that's for our career agents. That's for our full-time agents. And again, that's where we say, you know, over a 15-month period, our goal is to take you from $0 to $70,000 if you're new, right? If you're not new, if you've been in real estate already, you've made some money, well, our goal is to take you from where you were, and exponentially after 15 months, you'll exponentially be further along than where you were when you started. So that's the point of the Agent Development Institute, the ADI, right? Again, that's for our full-time agents. Right now, we have a class of 4 people, right? They're going through it, right? They're successfully going through it. And what we're going to do is here pretty soon, you know, once we finish with that class, we're going to open it up again. We're going to roll it over to give our full-time agents another opportunity. Those that were with us that didn't take advantage of it the first go round, we are going to have another opening to where we're going to, recycle it and start it over, right? It's kind of like, health insurance. Health insurance, you have that enrollment period, right? So same thing with ADI. You got an enrollment period. And if you missed the enrollment period deadline, hey, you got to wait until it comes back around and we open it back up. But it's an excellent program because, I mean, honestly, the ADI, people are paying multiple thousands of dollars a month to do the true hands-on one-on-one type coaching and accountability that's involved in the ADI program, right? So, it's a grand value add that I don't know if any other boutique firm is doing it. And the reason that I know that nobody else is doing it, because that's why I had to create it myself, because it didn't exist. I couldn't go copy it. I'd go take somebody else's program and refine it, but there was nothing for me to refine because there wasn't nothing there. So I had to literally create the program out of nothing, right? So I know that it's absolutely unique to Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm, and you all have access to it. To create your new life sessions, we do these every week, right? You don't have to, most companies, you got to go into the office, right? And they're pushing you to go into the office. Like, come to the office, come get the training, come get the learning. Well, that ain't the case here. Not only do you can get it from your smartphone or your iPad or your laptop, you can go back later and look at the video, right? So you ain't even got to look at it right now. We record the information for you. So, and we're talking about working with buyers, working with sellers, working with tenants. These are things that you can reflect, that you can go back to whenever you want to. We have the catalog that shows you, makes it easy to get to the specific area that you need at the time that you need it from the Create Your New Life sessions, right? All you got to do is click on the link and it takes you straight to the folder, to the video, to the notes that we had, to the slides that we had on that day. So we've worked really hard to make it easy for you to be able to capitalize on these things that we have to offer. So that's the agent development piece, right? So then the second one is strong lead generation, right? So not only going to develop you, you have opportunity to get leads, to generate leads, right? That's one of the biggest things that companies, that agents ask when they first, meet with somebody is that, do you give leads, right? And the crazy thing about it is that the reason that I put agent development before I put lead generation is because if I haven't properly developed you, then me giving you a lead, that's not helping you. It's not putting you in a position, because if I give you the lead and I haven't developed you to show you how to use it, then I've still done you a disservice. So the development piece is key, as well as the lead generation piece. But even with that being said, once I've developed you and given you the resource that you need to be developed, then now I do give you the leads. We have our lead gen time. I don't know what companies allow for their agents to come in every day. Up to 2 weeks. You can schedule coming into this office and not sitting there just waiting and answering the phone. You working on some marketing stuff, calling the phone times. You working on some marketing flyers or doing some Facebook stuff while you're waiting on the phone to ring. Now, we answer our own phones. You ain't got to worry about answering the phones. You're going to get in here and you're going to start making dials. It's about follow-up. Fortune is in the follow-up, right? You come in here and you work these desks, right? In an hour, we expect 9 phone calls, right? 9 phone calls, 3 contacts, 1 consultation or conversions. So, you're talking about an office that averages between 150 and 200 leads a month, right? 150 to 200 leads a month, that all you got to do is come in here and make the phone call. We got the script, we got the process, we have the we have the script, we have the leads, we have the resources, we have all of that stuff here. We just need your body to come here, right? That's it. I don't know what companies do that. Again, the reason I know, because I had to create it, because it wasn't out there. I couldn't steal it from somebody. Again, opportunities like the booth on Saturday, different career days. And Mr. Brooks, talked about you going in and doing a career day. He's right. You go to career day, there's an opportunity for you to get the teacher, the administrator, to get the parents, to get, there's so many people there that have a real estate need by you just going and spending a couple of hours talking to some kids about what you do, right? You'll be surprised. A lot of the questions, you'll get questions from the kids, but man, you'll get questions from the teachers and the staff. They'll start asking you real estate questions. So again, those are great opportunities. When we have those things come down the pipeline and we're saying, hey, who's available? Who wants to do this? Who wants to go here? They're there for you to help you generate leads. The Realtor Recruitment Rally, I already talked about that. And then these big relationships that we're building with HBREA, with HCC, with Chase, with Bank of America. Like, these relationships here are putting you in a position to where, as this thing materializes with Bank of America and Chase, as it materializes, that's putting you all in a position to where you're able to capitalize on the leads that are coming from us being exposed through those organizations. And think about it. You look at ACC. We're talking about you coming in, as I'm doing the talk, as I'm doing the training with the mentors, as networking with HBREA through ACC. But the point of it is for you to get there and be in a position to where you can recruit an agent. Right? That's a lead for you. Same thing with Chase. We're talking about doing the programming inside of the Chase branches and that, but ultimately it's so you can get a person that needs to buy a house. And the same thing with Bank of America. It's about showing up, taking advantage of the programming that's in place. So that's lead generation. The third thing is supplemental resources. So we have resources that have been designed and created that are specific and unique to Brooks and Davis Real Estate Firm. How do I know? Because I looked for it from somebody else and it didn't exist, right? So we had the pre-home buyer sessions. We have your financial homeownership first program. So there's a place for, if you get a client that says, hey, I want to buy a house, but my credit's not good, or I ain't saved up enough money, or I just need to know where to start. Like, you have a place that you can send them to where we do them 3 times a week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday. If you get any of that, unless you get somebody that say, hey, I'm pre-approved, ready to go, if they give you anything else other than that, you need to be sending them to a pre-home buyer session. You need to be saying, hey, what works best for you? Tuesdays at 10, Wednesdays at 5, or Saturdays at 12:30 for you to attend this this great pre-home buyer session that our office does for people that are in your position. right? That's a supplemental resource that you have access to by being a part of Brooks and Davis. And then, and I'm the one that's giving the presentations. So the point of the pre-home buyer session is to get people plugged into the Financial Homeownership First program. And that's the program where we work with them on their debt to income ratio, where we work with them on their credit. We hold their hand. It's a support group. It's a support group for people that want to buy houses. It's like an AA. It's like Weight Watchers, for people that want to buy a house. Every week they report. They have assignments. They have somebody there undergird them and holding them accountable and encouraging them. And all that stuff come from Brooks and Davis. Like, you don't have to do it. All you have to do is just take that person, take that lead that you've gotten that isn't ready to buy a house, give them to us, let us get them ready, and then give them back to you. And then at that point now, you can go buy them a house. We've been doing this program since September, and we've already had an individual go through the program and come out pre-approved. Like, it works. Like, we're not doing stuff just to waste our time. We're doing stuff because, again, we're beginning with the end result in mind of what we're looking to accomplish. That's what we're beginning with. So that's how we're designing and creating what we do. So you have access to that stuff. We have the inexpensive new build project, right? The IMB. And the whole point of that was there's no inventory. Anything under $150,000, there's no inventory. There's almost the most recent information from the Houston Association of Realtors is that the segments, the housing segments under 150,000, they're on a decline from sales performance, has declined almost 40% year over year. So same time, April of 2016 versus April of 2017, we're talking about a reduction in the amount of sales performance by almost 40%. Well, why is that? It's not because people don't want to buy in that price point. It's not because people are not getting qualified. It's not because of any of that stuff. It's because there's nothing to buy. There is no product. There's no inventory, right? So since we see that, since we know that, then again, we create something. Just like you talked about, our quote for today. Don't wait for opportunity, create it. So since there's no product, we're going to create product. And that's what the inexpensive new build project is. It's building new homes between $149,900 and $165,000. That's our sweet spot right there, right? And a brand new house, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. These houses got granite countertops in them, right? They got appliances. They got, tile. Like these aren't just shacks, right? They have brick elevations. These are nice houses, right? At a price point that a person can afford at $150,000. So we had to create it. We couldn't wait for it, right? So supplemental resources. We have our company events. We have our lunch and learns like we're talking about for Monday. We have our, had our holiday party that we did. We also had that technology event a couple of years ago. So, and again, these are opportunities for you to bring as you're recruiting, you're prospecting, or even you coming and having a good time that you can come to and that you can participate in and that you can use as a way to help build and grow your business and grow relationships, right? So then we have our culture. Now, there are other companies that have cultures, right? The one that really comes to mind is Keller Williams. I think their culture is great. And matter of fact, their culture kind of flows into a little bit about our culture. But, when, not comparing ourselves to a Keller Williams, just look around at some of these other boutique firms, these medium-sized firms, these firms that have, 15, 20 agents or, 10, 20 agents or whatever, even though we're at 47. But they don't have cultures, right? Then you ask them like, well, what makes you a ABC real estate agent or that real estate? They're like, what makes you that, right? They're not really able to articulate it, but we are, right? We know what our goal is to be the #1 real estate company in production and profitability by the year 2020 in the state. Like, that's easy. That's out. Boom. We know our purpose, which is to create a greater experience for every stakeholder in the real estate community. Like, we know why we're here. We know our values, right? To exceed the expectations of our clients, customers, and colleagues. Treat one another like family with respect, right? Constantly improving operating learning, improving, and operating in the most productive manner, right? Constant positive attitude. Like, we know our fabric and what makes us up. And there are a lot of companies, boutique firms, that don't really have that, right? But Remax, you look at a Remax, you look at a Keller Williams, Century 21, you can see culture. And culture is important when growing a firm, getting larger than some of the other size firms. It's extremely important because it clarifies who you are, what you do, and allows you to be focused, laser focused on getting there, right? And then the last thing, which I think is the most important, is you have direct access to broker owners, right? Because what I found is this. So when you talk about a Keller Williams or a Century 21, well, you have to ask yourself, are you going to get access to the broker? Yeah, you may get access to the broker at Keller Williams, but the only problem is that person is so far from the production side of real estate that, the information, or they may not be in the best position to help you because they're having to be there to run that company, right? So, okay, so they had to get there. Then you may have okay, so you may not be able to access the broker, but what about their top agents, like the ones that are boots on the ground, they're out there doing deals? Are you gonna be able to access them? Well, the problem is that they're too busy out there making money, right? They know what they're doing. They're grinding head to the ground. They're getting it done. They don't necessarily really have the time to answer your questions and hold your hand according to a deal that you're working on, right? Nor does it really benefit them to do it because they ain't not making no money off of you producing. They're just not gonna do it out the kindness of their heart. I mean, I know people think that people just do things because they're nice or the kindness of their heart, but that's just not how it works, right? It's not how life works. So they're not gonna do it. They don't have no reason to. It ain't no motivation. All right. So that's kind of what's going on at your big firms. All right. So then let's look at let's look at your boutique firm then. Okay. So let's look at your broker, one stop, your mom and pop broker, a boutique firm broker. Is he going to have time to give you access to answer your questions, to do all of that stuff? Right. All right. So let's look at it. A lot of it really depends on how they're operating, because there are a lot of boutique firms out there to where the broker, he still got to get in there and produce. Right. Because if he's bringing on new agents that don't know what they're doing, well, for him to make sure that the bills stay on, the lights stay on, that the doors don't get locked out, he got to get out there and he got to produce. So it's the same situation, really, as if a Keller Williams or a Century 21, you're trying to grab onto a top agent. Now the broker is going to be more willing, or try to be, because he does make money off of you producing because you're his broker. But again, the problem is that because he got to get out there and grind, he don't have the time. It's not like the desire is not there. It's there, but he don't have the time because he got to get out there and grind and make sure the lights are on until you get developed. So the problem is not will you have access, how much access will you be able to have with him, right? So, in understanding that, but knowing that, especially as a new agent, you need to be able to have access to somebody that can answer your questions, that can help you with a particular deal. When you're sitting there staring in the eyes of a buyer and you don't know what the next step or the next move, you need to be able to get somebody on the phone and kind of get your question. You get somebody say they want to sell a house, but you don't know what the next step is. You need somebody to get on the phone and have a solution for you to ensure that you can get these people under contract and get them closed, right? So with us, we've found ourselves in a position to where we do have that time. Well, I have the time to where you can call me and I can answer your question. Not that we're not producing, it's just that I have a team in place. I have systems in place. I have processes in place to where it doesn't take me as long as it may take somebody else to do a deal or to help somebody, to serve somebody when it comes to real estate. So I have the time. Take advantage of it. Call me, text me, whatever. Come into the office, sit down with me. You got that. Same thing with Brooks. If you can't get me, call Brooks. You can't get him, call me. Like, you have an opportunity to try to catch one of us, right? Email us, group me, text message, phone call, create your new life session, come into the office, lunch and learn. You got your broker owners right here that's in front of you that has multiple years of real estate, multiple hundreds of transactions under our belt, which is our transactions and the transactions that we've helped agents. I've been a broker for 10 years. I've been in real estate for 12 years, and I've been a broker for 10 of those 12 years, and I've carried agents for 8 of those 12 years. So we've been in this thing for a minute. So, and you have access to that knowledge base, vast knowledge base, right? So there's a lot that Brooks and Davis gives, that offers, that other brokerage firms don't have. They're not offering it. You know, so somebody asked me a question, what makes us different, man? I can't wait for them to ask me that question. I got a bunch of stuff to tell you. And I'm going to blow you away because we were intentional about making ourselves different. We were specific about it. You know, this isn't haphazard. We're specific on why we do what we do. There's some rhyme and reason around it. So I definitely want to take some time, you know, as we now go into our next part, but I definitely want to take some time to give you all the talking points that you need to show how we are different from other brokerage firms. And you know, the crazy thing about it is that I'm currently working on 2 other things to add to this list that will be unique to Brooks and Davis real estate firm. I'm working on it like as we speak. So, you know, and it's always going to be like that. Why? Just go back to our values. We're continually learning, improving, and operating in the most productive manner of who we are. So we're always going to be getting better and growing, because I believe if you ain't growing, you're dying. There is no stagnation, right? Look at nature. If you're a plant, plants just don't be still. They either growing or they dying. Look at human being, little baby. You don't never reach no point in your life where you just ain't nothing happening. You either growing or you dying, right? And that's the same thing here. You either got to be growing, or if you're not growing, you're going in the opposite direction, right? So just wanted to share that with you. Again, I'm probably gonna take this information and we're gonna add it to the website onto that career page. So boom, you can have that easy access to it as you're speaking to these people and really training you guys around how to articulate what makes us better than everybody else, especially when it comes to boutique firms, right? I mean, as of right now, there is no boutique firm out there that can compete with us, period, right? White, black, yellow, green, I don't care what color they are. There's no boutique firm out there that can compete with what we have to offer, period, across the board. So it's just a matter of you all articulating that. Whoop, right, whoop. We got our live studio audience. All right, so let's jump back into working with these tenants. Now, there is a way to be successful with tenants, and that's what we're doing. We're gonna spend some time walking through this thing. We ain't got to spend a whole lot. We ain't got to rush through it. We're gonna take our time with it. You know, if I had my pick, I want y'all to be working with buyers and sellers. Well, I want you to be working with sellers first, buyers second, apartments third, tenants fourth, right? Buyers, listen, sellers first, buyers second, apartments third, tenants fourth, right? But we're still gonna kind of go through them, right? The reason I want you to work with sellers first is because sellers produce seller leads, right? They produce seller leads and buyer leads. They produce a lot of buyer leads, right? So that's why I want you to try to get seller clients first. Buyers second, right? Because number one, buyers produce buyer leads, and the ticket is higher. You make more money, right? Your commission is more when it comes to working with buyers. Apartments third, because it's not as much, although the commissions aren't as high as we're working with buyers, you don't have to exert as much energy as you do after working with tenants, because ultimately the process is just a lot easier when working with apartments, and you can get the same kind of commissions that you would get with tenants, right? And then the fourth is tenants, because you have to do you have to put in more energy and more time to get that smaller commission than with all the other three. So that's why I have it in that order. All right. Sellers first, buyers second, apartments third, tenants fourth. All right. So last week we went through the pre-qualification questions for tenants. And we went through all of that. So now we're at the point to where we're encouraging the customer to fill out the residential, to fill out these three forms: the residential lease application, the tenant needs assessment, and the information about brokerage services. So those are the three things that you're going to provide to them. Now, where do you get those things from? Look, your 7-dot training folder, because everything's in there, right? So here's your 7-dot training folder. Here's your process for working with tenants. Got it all in there for you. So you click on that, your process for working with tenants. You have your lead management and initial engagement folder. And voila, we have our initial tenant forms that has the residential lease application, tenant needs analysis, and information about brokerage services form. What are the three things you're going to have them do? The residential lease application, the tenant needs assessment, information about brokerage services form. Where is that? In your initial tenant forms, in your 7-dot training folder, in the working with tenants folder. Residential lease application, tenant needs analysis, information about brokerage services form, right? So for those that have not ever seen a residential lease application, this is what it looks like. This is what you're going to have the client fill out beforehand, not after you done taken them, put them in a car and drove them around the city and showed them all these different properties, and then they determine, hey, this is the property I want. Then you get them fill out the lease application. No, that's backwards. Don't do it that way. You get them to fill it out first before you got in anybody call, before you spend any time in front of them, before you did any of that stuff. Because remember, the reason that you got to be efficient in how you work with tenants is because keep in mind that dollar per hour number, right? The more time that you spend, you're going to make what you're going to make, regardless of how much time you spend with it. So, you know, there is no overtime in real estate. This is what you get. So the more time it takes for you to close on that deal, the smaller your dollar per hour is. Man, I was looking at, I'm doing some research on something else, and I pulled up the salaries when it comes to real estate, the real estate salaries. And what it said was that for managers, the average salary is like, for managers, the average salary is like $16 an hour. That was average. And that's for a real estate office manager, right? For a real estate office assistant, average salary was about $15 an hour, right? But for a realtor, the average salary was $9 an hour. Like that was crazy to me, that you can make more money based on these statistics, that the people that are the office managers and the assistants to the realtors are making more money than the actual realtor. That's crazy. But the reason is because of foolishness like this. And somebody at a lunch that I attended on yesterday said something. It was like an aha moment for me. And he was like, man, you know, to be honest with you, the bottom 3% of our industry ain't doing nothing. They're doing like from 0 to 1 transaction a year. That's the bottom third, like the bottom 33%. So that means for us to even average, with the average salary being $40,000 a year or $9 an hour as we see here, for that to be the average, when you have a bottom third that's not productive, you can imagine what the top percentages have to be doing. Like they have to be so killing it for your average to level out at that amount, right? So when you talk about major disparity when it comes to real estate from the haves and the have-nots, you got to get to that top echelon, because they are making an ungodly amount of money, right? And you can too. You ain't got nothing to do with the color of their skin, who their mom and daddy is, what city they live in. It ain't got nothing to do with that, right? You have what you need inside of you, flowing inside of you. You have access to what you need, the capabilities to be just as successful as those people that have the food chain. Yeah. Okay, so back to our lease application. So that's what the lease application looked like. The tenant needs analysis, this is what it looks like. And what it does is it's asking them to get you the information that you need, right? You definitely want to know how they heard about you. We get all that contact information. You're asking them what kind of house they're looking for, how much money they had to spend, they're using any of the government programs, you know, what days are they available to look. So it's asking them all those questions here on this tenant needs analysis. So that's what that looks like. And then your information about brokerage services form. That's actually the old one. So I need to put the new one in there. So I will get that changed out. Let me make a note for me to put the new ABS form in there. And new in tenant folder. Okay, so we'll get that switched out with the new one. But again, worst case scenario, go to HAR. And in fact, I found out on the TREC website they got the forms, which is mind-boggling to me since they don't want the public using our forms, but then you're going to put them on the TREC website so anybody can access them. I mean, I was arguing somebody up and down that TREC didn't have the forms on their website, because I was just like, I know TREC ain't got the forms on the website, because I mean they'll take your license for letting somebody use one of these promulgated forms, and then you gonna put them on the website for everybody to get them? Come on, TREC, talk to your boy.
That was me you was arguing with.
Well, that sure was Valerie. Valerie is my witness that I was arguing with her that I know TREC didn't have the forms on the website. And then she made me a believer that TREC has the forms on the website. Okay, so
for that bottom 1%, they don't have access to other leads.
Exactly. For the bottom 1%, not for the consumer, but for the bottom 1% that don't have access to HAR, they can't pay that HAR dues because they ain't making no money. I knew they were there. You knew they were
I used them before.
Okay, well, good. Well, so that was something that I didn't know, but now I know. I mean, it's funny to me because I know an agent that almost lost his license because he let somebody use the promulgated lease form, the lease agreement form, and the rationale from TREC was that you can't give people the forms. You can't give them access to the forms. Well, if he'd have known better, he could have just told them to go to the website and get it. In any rate, okay, so those are the 3 forms that you're going to want. You can email them to them. I would ideally email them to them. Like, remember, I don't meet with, when it comes to tenants, there is no meeting until we meeting at a property. And we're not meeting at a property until we know you are approved for that property that we meeting at. That is, and it is available, and that you are already approved. So that's the first time I'm ever gonna see a tenant, ever. Everything else is done on the phone, via email. Everything else, right? So in encouraging them to fill out these forms, we're gonna email them these forms, and they can email them back. You can get DocuSign. I know for us, we have it in DocuSign. So we send it to them DocuSign. They can fill it out, DocuSign, sign it, and send it back. If you don't have DocuSign, just email it to them. Tell them to fax it, or have them bring it back. Have them bring it back to the office with the rest of the stuff that we're gonna go through. So, but again, no face-to-face meetings, no getting eye to eye with tenants. Okay, not until you know they approved and you at a property. So you're gonna encourage them to fill out these 3 forms. That's what you're gonna send to them, and then this is what you tell them that you need them to bring to the office. Now, we talked about it 2 weeks ago in the script, because the script explains our process with working with them. And inside that script, remember, inside of these pre-qualification questions for tenants, in that script, it explains all of this about the forms that we give and what we need from them. So here at this point, you're at the point of getting them to fill out the forms, as well as getting them to submit you this information. So you're going to need the last 2 months of their check stubs, right? I don't care how much money they say that they make. If they can't prove it, it don't exist. So you need check stubs. You need a letter from their employees. Like if it's a new job and they're relocating, you need their award letter showing how much they gonna make, right? Or you need their last 2 months check stubs. And based on that information, whether that's that award letter from their job or those check stubs, that's going to determine that 3 times rent number, right? If they making $3,000 a month, if they can only prove $3,000 a month, they say they make $5,000, but they can only prove they make $3,000, then $1,000 a month rent tool is what we're looking for. We're not looking for a $1,500 a month rental. We ain't looking for that, because people want 3 times the rent. That's what they want. So you want the last 2 month check stubs. You want a copy of a positive rental verification or a letter from their landlord saying that they're a great tenant. You don't know how important that piece is. That right there is your golden ticket, because I don't care how bad a person's credit is. I don't care how bad their rental history is. If you can get a letter from their current landlord that they've been with at least 12 months to say that they were a phenomenal tenant, everything else don't matter. Because again, all the landlord care about is this person gonna pay my rent on time, and is he not gonna tear my house up? That's what they care about. So if you can get that letter, you really got to be pushing your clients on getting you that letter from their landlord. Even if they got to convince the landlord to let them write it, and then the landlord read it, approve it, and sign it, right? But they got to get them. That is so key to have in the tenant packet when a tenant is when they're applying for a unit. See, these are things, if you do it in this manner, it's going to make life a whole lot easier for you as you're working with tenants. So that positive rental verification, and we have, let me see, I think I have that in your 7 training folder, to where you can get the rental. Look at me, I went all over the place. All right, let me get back here. I believe we have in here, there we go, the rental verification form. So say they can't get a letter from their landlord, and the landlord's like, well, just have them send us over a verification, a rental verification, and we'll fill it out. Well, you have that in your 7 training. This is what it looks like. And to make it easy for you, it's in the form of a fax cover sheet, right? All you have to do is put in the landlord's information. You can do it 1 or 2 ways. You can print this out and write it in, or you can type the information in here and then print it out. You know, you would change the name here to your name, but put the 2, put the phone number, put their fax number, the date, put the name of the client, put their current information, and then just fax this bad boy over to them, right? It has all the contact information. If they need to follow up, send it back. So, you know, if you have if you want to change this stuff up here, you can change that too. Put your own fax number. If you want to put your own email address there, you can do that. But the point is that the form's already here, so you don't have to create your own form. So you already have access to that in your 7 training folder. And I bet you all are asking, well, what was that first thing that was in front? So this right here, I call them application processing slips, because, you know, we ain't got to a point to where we were doing a lot of applications for people for rentals. Now, it wasn't for us helping tenants. It was more for, as we had landlord units and we had multiple tenants that were interested in our units. So we use these slips to help us easily know where we were when processing the individuals. So that's what this was. And again, you have them. So if you ever need to use it yourself, but it had it to where we could easily be organized in working with it. We would just cut this part out. This is the end of it. Just cut, like it says 1, 2, 3. That's an individual slip. And then we would, you know, print it, cut it out, fill it out for that applicant, see where we were. Have we received the application? Have we received the application fee? Have we received the check stubs? Or if they had award letters because they were using Section 8 or special housing agency, something like that. Was their rental verification submitted? Had that been received back? Was their credit criminal ordered? You know, was the letter? So you can still use it to keep an eye on where you are with that particular client as they're compiling the information for you for their applicant packet, right? So that's how we use these application processing slips. So you have those, and you have the rental verification form if you have to pull the rental verification for the client because the landlord won't do the letter. But if you really want to try to encourage them to get the landlord to do the letter, because that's going to be stronger, right? So the next thing is that a letter from them explaining any credit, criminal, or rental issues. So on your application processing slip, you see that's the letter of explanation. That's that letter. And again, we talked about it last week. You know, that's another big thing. We use that letter to ensure that the landlord, when they're reviewing their information, that they're not just seeing them as a stack of papers, that they're not just seeing them as, they're seeing them as a person, right? Because it's easy to tell a stack of papers denied, but it's hard to tell a person denied, right? So that's the point of the letter, to really pull on those heartstrings. So, and to be proactive around any negative things that may come up on their rental, either the rental history or criminal credit report or criminal. Go ahead and get on the forefront of it and explain what happened there, because what that's going to do is that's going to lighten the load or lighten the blow, because it won't be such a surprise when the stuff is pulled up on the credit report or the criminal report pool. So it's important that you get them to go ahead and be as detailed as possible. Now, I'm not talking about they ain't got to write no dissertation, a 30-page doctoral review. Still needs to just be one page, right? But just have them be as detailed as possible about who they are. Put some kids in there, like I said last week, put a picture on it. But really explain some of the negative items that the landlord can expect. And believe me, they read the letters, right? Because it's so different from probably what they're seeing that, the packet itself may get your client approved. We've had that before, to where the packet got the client approved. It ain't had nothing to do with the client. They were just so impressed by how organized and how good the packet looked that they picked our client over somebody else. So you put in the hard work in the front, it makes it easy on the back. All right, so that's what the letter. You want to get them to get you a copy of their driver's license, a copy of the social security card, and then our office will run the credit, criminal, and eviction report. So it's $45 for one person, $30 for each additional adult. We'll do it. We'll send them a PayPal link, we'll order it, and then we'll email it to you so it can be added to the packet. Again, just get the fee from them. So at this stage of it, you're getting them to gather the information that you need, right? And again, you can use this application approval, the processing slip, to keep them on track, because you're not just going to be sitting there twiddling your thumbs while you're waiting for them to give you the information. You have to be out there still plugging in people to your pipeline. You still have to be moving on to the next thing while you're waiting, but you have to be able to quickly assess where a person is in getting you the information that you need. So those application processing slips are fabulous in you being able to quickly assess where each, especially if you start getting multiple tenants that you're working with, where they are in the process of needing the information. Because until you at this point, you're not doing nothing else with a tenant, okay? You ain't going to show no properties. You ain't having no long drawn out conversations. You're not doing nothing else until they get you your paperwork. And every time they call you or you call them, it's about you pull out your application processing slip and you say, well, according to my application processing slip, we still waiting on your check stubs, or we still waiting on your award letters, or we still waiting on your letter from your landlord, or you ain't paid your application fee so we can run your criminal and your credit and your background. So like, that's how that conversation go. It ain't, oh, you need to find out how much this house is at 123 Main Street. No, I need you to give me your check stub. That's what I need. And then once we get all that, we're going to create our packet. And then at that point, you can send me all the properties in the world that you're interested in. Because at that point, it's easy, right? So until they get you your paper, the stuff that you need, we ain't spending no more energy or no effort with tenants. There's people that's looking for tenants, right? And this application processing slip right here allows you to remain organized. And so this is the stage that we're in right now, is waiting on the client, working with the client for them to get all the information to you. Okay. So now what we're going to do is, next week, I'll probably be able to get through the rest of this, right? Because the rest of it is kind of smooth. So, well, I'm going to stop here for today. And then next week, we'll pick up to where once they send you all your information, what's the next move, right? Because remember, you're not doing nothing until they send you all your documents and your forms and application fees and all that, or application fee and all of that. So next week, we'll pick up to where once they give you your forms, what do we do next? How do we create the applicant packet and all of that? All right. So with that being the case, that's all that I have for today. Valerie, do you have any questions? Coaching, Kim, my in-office, my in-studio audience got her 2 laptops up, boy. I wish I could see this. Multitask.
Only thing I have to say really is to commend you, Mike. You're really passionate, really committed to the success of the team, and every day you give it all, and like you just give it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's why I'm here.
So I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Heard it from a top agent herself.
You give it away.
Give it away. Valerie, you have anything?
No, I'll be in there tomorrow
Okay.
because I wanted to, well, I have a tenant. She's looking for a rental, but I need to, I guess I need to get all her paperwork and then get you to, will you be there tomorrow?
Yeah, I'll be here.
Okay, I guess get you to show me how to do the, run the credit history and all that.
Well, you don't have to run it. Just you get the application.
Oh, I give it to you?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, just get the application fee. It's just one person.
I think so.
Yeah, if it's just
I
one
haven't really
person,
talked to her over the phone. I just sent her all the stuff by email,
yeah.
and
Okay.
she asked me where could she turn it into, and I told her to get it out tomorrow.
Okay. Well, yeah. So she can bring to the office, or she can bring the money with her, or we can send her a PayPal link if she got a debit card. And the
I told her to
office,
bring the money with her. Yeah.
okay. And then the office will run it as long as we have the lease application, the first page of the lease application filled out, because we need that information to run it.
Okay.
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 All right, gang. We about to bob our head up out of here. Another one in the books.
Oh, this you crazy mother.
Oh yeah. Create your new life real estate training. Sessions. We do more than train. We let the world know what Brooks and Davis is about, what we have to offer, development, and how we can continue to help people to be successful in this business and create the life that they want. So you guys have a great week. It's beautiful outside. Enjoy your weekend. God willing, we'll see you next week. Have a great one.